US President Donald Trump is facing sharp criticism after renewing threats to destroy Iran's civilian infrastructure in a controversial social media message posted on Easter Sunday. In the message, Trump warned that the United States could attack Iran's power plants and bridges if Tehran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a key global shipping route. The president's posts include profane language and religious references, prompting strong reactions from critics both in the United States and abroad. The message immediately drew condemnation from Democratic leaders in Congress. Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari, who is of Iranian descent, said Trump's remarks showed he was unfit to serve as president. In social media posts, Ansari called Trump's national security threat and suggested invoking the 25th Amendment, which allows the removal of a president deemed unable to carry out their duties. House Democrat leaders Hakeem Jeffries also criticized the president's comments. Jeffries described the message as disgusting and unhinged, adding that something was seriously wrong with the president's conduct. Several lawmakers also raised legal concerns. Senator Elissa Slotkin, a former CIA officer, warned that attacks on civilian infrastructure such as bridges and power plants would violate the Geneva Conventions and the Pentagon's Law of War manual. Slotkin said deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure would be both irresponsible and unlawful, particularly when the administration claims its goal is to support the Iranian people. Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders called the Trump's remarks the raving of dangerous and mentally unbalanced individual and urged Congress to act to end the war. Another Democratic Senator, Jeff Merkley, stressed that U.S. military personnel are legally required to refuse unlawful orders, including orders to commit war crimes. Merkley described Trump's threat as the word of a frustrated and immoral madman. The criticism comes as the conflict continues to intensify. According to Iranian officials, more than 2,000 people have been killed in Iran since the war began, most of them civilians. One of the earliest strikes in the conflict reportedly hit a girls' school in southern Iran, killing more than 170 people, many of them children. International humanitarian law prohibits attacks on civilians and the destruction of civilian infrastructure as collective punishment. Despite the backlash, Republican leaders have largely defended Trump's position. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said the president was right to demand that any negotiation with Iran meet U.S. strategic objectives. Graham argued that if Iran refuses, the United States should consider destroying critical infrastructure to prevent Tehran from rebuilding its military capabilities. Republican Congressman Don Bacon also defended the war, accusing critics of living in a bubble. Bacon said the Iranian government has been responsible for the deaths of many Americans over decades through attacks carried out by groups aligned with Tehran. Spokesperson Stephen Turajic, speaking on behalf of Secretary General Antonio Guterres, stressed that international humanitarian law strictly prohibits attacks on civilian infrastructure, including energy facilities, particularly where civilian harm is expected.
The Secretary General has been very clear on issues regarding international law, and he urges yet again all parties to abide by their obligations regarding the conduct of these hostilities. And he recalls that civilian infrastructure, including energy infrastructure, may not be attacked, even if specific civilian infrastructure were to qualify as a military objective. International humanitarian law would still prohibit attacks against them if they may be expected to cause excessive incidental civilian harm. Once again, the Secretary General reaffirms that it's high time for the parties to stop this conflict, as there is no viable alternative to the peaceful settlement of international disputes.
Iran, meanwhile, has remained defiant, unable to match the military power of the United States and Israel directly. Tehran has responded by blocking traffic through the Strait of Hormuz and launching missiles and drone attacks across the region and into Israel. Trump and his advisors insist that Iran's military capabilities have already been largely destroyed. and claimed the country now has only limited number of missiles remaining. The president has also rejected accusations that targeting infrastructure would amount to war crimes. Trump says his goal remains preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, even though he has repeatedly claimed that the earlier US strikes had already destroyed Iran's nuclear program.
Your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all, no. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said, 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Iran denies pursuing nuclear weapon, while Israel is widely believed to possess an undeclared nuclear arsenal. For now, Trump's latest threats have deepened the political divide in Washington, highlighting growing tensions over the war and its potential consequences.